talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about rumors. Let's talk about facts.
We gon' talk about life. We gon' talk about death. Romance, finances, generational wealth.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Hey.
Hello.
Hi,
Welcome
good people.
to
What we welcome them to?
Let's
talk about it. I'm Etoya Lewis.
And I am Marsha E. Dudley. Let me drop my water. I was trying to get my water.
We're a little thrown off, I guess.
No,
we
were kind of jumping everywhere, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was trying to get my water.
Just a little bit off. It's okay though.
It's okay.
I know I look a little pale, but I was trying very hard to not look pale.
All right. You look good on here.
Oh yeah, that's probably the light, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you look real good.
Okay, so this evening, you guys, we're going to talk about losing your identity. But before we do that, I want to say it's been a semi-rough week for me.
Yeah.
I lost one of my best friends to cancer, but she is out of pain. So I am trying to kind of, I don't want to say cope or deal, but I guess those are the only words that's coming to me right now. But get through with the thoughts of her not being in pain anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So before we talk about losing your identity, I just want to tell everybody not to take for granted the people that you love. Not to put off those things that you know you probably could do and make excuses for those things, because you never know. Tomorrow isn't promised. I mean, and we all know that, and we say it all the time, but there's nothing like losing someone that you were waiting on tomorrow to see for you to understand how precious today is. So I just wanted to kind of...
I think you should wait for the end for that one.
Why?
Cause
Why? What happened, friend?
nothing.
Did I strike a...
Yes.
I'm sorry. Okay, so we've both been...
It doesn't, Toya.
I'm sorry. I told you I was gonna just
I thought you said love.
Love. I just said the people that you love. I'm sorry. I didn't know that. I mean, oh Jesus. And she could get me started. Lord, be offense. Jesus, be offense. No, but seriously, love on your people. Love on your people. And see, so Marsha, this is what she just did to me, right? Because I was fine looking at myself in this frame right here. And then I looked over at her. And there's nothing like looking at somebody who's emotional for you to get emotional. But I'm trying to hang in there.
I'm strong.
Because I'm trying to be strong too. But that was just my, what is it? PSA.
Yeah. And it's a good
PSA. Love your people. Love your people, because tomorrow isn't promised.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the first 5 minutes. And now we're going to get into losing your identity. So for me, and this is what, this is how this conversation even came about. We were on our way to eat at some fancy bougie restaurant on Friday.
Because that's what we do.
We was on our way to eat at this bougie restaurant. And I was just discussing how I was always dressed sergeant. all his ranks wife, because when he and I got married, I think I was a PFC still.
Mhm.
When I came back, I got promoted to specialist, and he had just made E5 or get ready to make E5 or something like that. That was 25, 30, 40 years ago, so I can't quite remember. But I was always his wife. Like, once we got married and I was no longer Etoya Knight, I kind of lost that girl some way down the line. And as our lives continued,
Yeah.
it kind of that Etoya Knight kind of continued to go away. So I went
Or
from
fall in the back.
yeah.
Fall away.
So we kind of lose ourselves in our identity, and like we have to try to recreate who we are as we grow. We're constantly growing and we're constantly recreating who we are. But when you're out in the world and you're only known as, oh, that's Lil wife. Oh, that's Dress Sergeant Lewis wife. Oh, that's First Sergeant Lewis wife.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Akil's mom. That's Evan's mom.
So you got married and you lost your part. You slowly started losing your identity because you became Carlos or Drill Sergeant Lewis' wife. Then you
not Toya.
Yes. Then you had children, and that added a second layer. And so,
and when people know you, but they don't really when they know you through somebody, there's nothing like being identified as not you, but oh, you're Marsha's friend, right? And it's like
Toya's friend.
And it's like, well, I am, so I don't want to go, well, my name is, or have I don't know. Does anyone else ever have those type of issues where you lost your identity?
And I think the thing is that we as women, we sometimes feel like, oh, I've lost my identity, and then, we get in our 40s and we're coming into this new person. Our kids are graduating, our husband, so we're empty nesters now. Y'all empty nesters now, and then you start realizing, or even in your 20s, you're that you can handle it. As you get older, you start thinking about, oh, there's a piece of me that I need to find. Okay, we as women see that, but I think men go through the same thing. They lose their identity as well. They become husbands. They become fathers. And so a lot of them, you always hear about men having midlife crisis, like in their 40s.
Yeah,
so
but
women.
But when we talk about their midlife crisis, we're talking about them going to get younger girls or going to get a sporty car or going to do. I've never heard anyone talk about men in midlife crisis and they're speaking of, oh, they don't know who they are.
Okay, but I believe that is part of it.
I understand that that's part of it, but that's never what's said, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They never say that, oh, he's going through a midlife crisis, so that's why he got that young girl.
Or even if they don't get a young girl, they go get they want a shiny new car. They go get a car. You're like, no, what? Go and get that car or whatever.
You didn't need that car.
Exactly. It could not just be a woman. It could be other things. They start trying to dye their hair. They see a commercial.
Deb said she can relate.
Yeah.
She said we're speaking facts.
Yeah. They see a commercial and all those men, they have hair. So he go and get him some of that man weave.
Getting that lace front.
I promise to God, I've been seeing it on TikTok.
I've seen it myself, and it's not That's not
It's
cute,
so
guys.
funny to me.
I mean, but if you get the right one to do it,
yeah,
it looks pretty good.
yeah. But I think I think men and women both go through those identity crises. And the thing is that ours may show up differently than theirs.
Well, how does ours show up?
You tell me.
I mean, because for me, it's always just been kind of like a feeling
Mhm.
of getting smaller
Mhm.
when I'm this person's wife, or I'm that person's mom,
Mhm.
or that's Tony's sister. You know, Toya and Tanya, yeah.
Mhm.
Why can't I just be Toya and not? I
Mhm.
understand that's a part of my identity,
Yeah.
but I don't like when it's the first part of my identity. I guess.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I get it. It totally makes sense to me. And like I say, women, it seems like, I ain't gonna lie to you, it seems like when we hit 40, it's like we just wake up. We trying to find out. We want to walk in our greatest self. I remember you telling me that I think when you turned 40, you really stepped into your femininity, and you wanted to you want
Love me,
yeah,
because I know she's in there,
yes,
and I had to let her come out, and I've been
and
on a
baby,
whirlwind ever since.
she been out.
Twirling, fabulous, darling, just fabulous, being extraordinary, darling,
Yes.
extraordinary.
But I love that. Go ahead.
Carlos says
Mhm.
women do similar things, like getting their groove back with a younger man
Mhm.
or a new car.
Mhm.
So do that.
Mm.
Greg talking about damn cougars,
Mm.
but do you all experience midlife crisis type things? Like if
Or identity crisis. Do you sometimes feel like
you don't know
lost
who
yourself?
you are, or who you are, no one else knows? Because I feel like it's important to say, if somebody says, "Oh yeah, I know Marsha," "Oh, I know Marsha," she would never. The Marsha I know.
Mhm.
And then they go into talking about the Marsha that they know
Mhm.
and who she isn't
Mhm.
versus what the other person thinks she
Yeah.
is. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So I just want to know from the guys and the ladies too, the things that you've lost, part of your identity that you've lost because of being connected with
Mhm.
someone else. I guess I'll say that.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, I think this is a really good topic, like I said, because I think that when you are unsure, or when you have lost yourself, there's a piece of you that is truly missing, that the world is missing out on. And I'm gonna let you read Carlos, and then I'll go back.
Carlos says, I think both men and women have this same problem. Men just mask theirs and choose not to address it. Greg says, I feel like there is a different part of me that people that don't know.
The devil. We all see that it's the devil. No, I'm sorry.
Greg has really been doing a lot
You
in
know
his
what?
life. I'm not trying to take up for Greg, because I know y'all be back and forth, and it's so funny. It's so funny to me. He called me the other day to tell you talk about he got his food stamps and so. Talk about he got $1,100. He went to go buy and throw in the trash.
You know what?
Just to piss you off.
Okay, Daniel.
Okay. Carlos says, I played the role of a soldier for 25 years. So yes, waking up wondering who you are is very real.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and you have to be someone else when you are a member of the military service.
Yeah.
You have to be somebody else. If you are the worst morning person ever, you have to switch that when you have to stand in front of other, especially when you're a leader. You have to switch that. You can't come in just mad, although you're like, God can't believe like you are someone totally different. You have to always try to be motivated. It's just you're definitely sending your representative.
Mm.
And in sending your representative, you sometimes lose who you are.
So that just let me that brought something to me, that a lot of you that have been in the military, that a lot of you have had to suppress who you were. With that, I'm gonna say something crazy. So a bunch of y'all suffering with identity crisis.
Quinn says, I have never been in that predicament. So I don't know about that. My me shines so bright, my light can't be dimmed. I don't. So you've never had the whole issue of every time someone. So you are the dominant personality in all of your connections, all of your relationships with everybody. Everybody is known through Quinn versus Quinn known through someone else. I guess is that how I want to say that?
Yeah. Or you've never it sounds like she's extremely confident that she's never been in that place where it's not that you doubt who you are right now, but there's a piece of you that's missing. And that's
even when you were in the military, Quinn, because for me, I know a lot of times it was, I guess, because it was always Sergeant Lewis,
mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was never a Sergeant Knight. There was never so because I changed, I don't want to say who I was, but
mm-hmm.
I went by a different name.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of, I don't know.
No, you're right on. You're on the right track, but but I think that like I said, you didn't lose. You know, you lost.
I've never felt like someone dimmed my light.
Yeah,
I've always had my own little Shekinah glory happening.
It wasn't that they dimmed your light. It's just that they had their feelings, what they needed, everything else. You were put on the back burner, and everyone else seemed to take the driver's seat. Yeah. And then, like I said, a lot of times when people get, especially empty nesters, especially people when all their kids are gone, it's like everybody in the house had the dad and the mom have this awakening.
Greg says, everyone just thinks I'm the guy who just cracks jokes and funny, but there is way more to me than that.
Aww.
I believe that. I know that. I mean, although that's what you usually put up front.
I just be playing. I love you.
Andy says, wait, Greg Dudley, how you got food stamps? Because David says, I'm Greg Graves, high adrenaline, all gas, no brakes. So David, you've never been Keita's like introduced as Keita's husband, or Quan's dad, or Cameron's dad, or Dion's dad, or DJ's dad, or
and I think
Dallas's
not
dad.
just
Like
being...
I just feel like, and for him, I guess for him, because he has always been Grayson,
mm-hmm.
you know, David Grayson. I feel like when you take on a new name, there's a whole nother identity that
mm-hmm.
also comes with taking on that name.
But
where Keita at? That's what I want to hear from.
But I think it's more than just taking on a names. I think it's the roles.
Hold on.
Being a mother, being a father, being somebody's brother, being somebody's sister.
I mean,
those are things
that sometimes you want to just step away from.
Yeah.
If you have anything that you want to step away from, that's the reason why you're stepping away. Like, oh, I do not want to be mama today.
Yeah.
And that's I don't want to deal with my husband today.
Yeah.
Lord, this job. I'm tired of them calling.
Mm-hmm.
Like those hats, those different hats that you wear
mm-hmm.
kind of pulls on your identity of being the carefree person out on
mm-hmm.
vacation. You're not the same person,
mm-hmm.
but that's the person you want to feel like all the
Mhm.
time.
When people say, I just need to let my hair down, that means I
Yeah.
just need to be my true self. And like I say, a lot of times we don't find out who we are until we get older. I cannot say that I even knew who I was in my 20s.
And we make so many mistakes in
Yes.
our 20s because we don't know who we are.
Mhm.
And we think differently.
Mhm.
I don't want to miss anybody.
Mhm.
Go back to David's high adrenaline. Okay, Quinn says, I was in HR, so everybody knew me. I guess I was the dominant, just never looked at it like that. Okay. Carlos says, oh Jesus, Toy used to get upset when folks address her as Lou's wife. I did. It bothered me because I'm like, don't they know I have a name? You talk about me all the time. Why do I have to still be Lou's wife? Like,
For a whole week, I'm gonna call you Council Lou's wife.
and I'm not gonna talk to you.
Yes, you are.
Until you do right by me. I don't have an income, Andy Brunson. Is it always losing yourself? Can it be rediscovering? Yes. Or reinventing yourself? Yeah, I mean, sometimes you have to reinvent yourself for the part of life that you're in that moment, right?
Yeah. And I think that's and I think that's what a lot of us do. I think in order to be able to stay in relationships, that you have to constantly reinvent yourself, because if not, you lead them suckers.
Quit talking about, she used to call me that before we got tight. Yeah, it's and ladies, if you think about it, if every time someone talked to you, that's what they called you, by your husband's name, it would kind of be like, damn, why they act like they don't know my name? I for me, I can only speak for myself. I'm not speaking for everyone, because a lot of women go, I take my husband's name in pride, and I do too. Because you better not say nothing about no Lewis. You hear me? What you say? Okay. But at the same time, I grew up Etoya Knight. I'm just like Etoya Knight to be relevant.
Yeah. And see, I think for me, I went through an identity crisis, but it wasn't about a name. I think for me, and I know.
Okay, Drea says she guess she's not understanding why it sounds so negative. No, we're not saying it's a negative thing. We're just talking about how sometimes people lose their identity, or how sometimes we get so caught up in being sister Brunson, or Sergeant Brunson, it's not a bad thing to be Rebecca's mom. It's not a bad thing to be Bridget's mom.
But it is when you can't see yourself past that.
Right. A lot of people get so wrapped up in that identification that, for instance, remember we had a conversation. I know I probably shouldn't be doing this, but remember we had a conversation and you're like, man, now so many people know me by Andy. I almost forgot about being called Drea. And it sounds funny when someone says Drea. It's all but like the same thing. Like that identity is all but.
She's like, oh, okay.
It's not a bad thing, but it can be sometimes. Night. You a Lewis now. Wait, I missed some. Oh, David says, hold on, I'm gonna need Carlos to turn his sound down. No one is going to dim my light. Many have tried, but it just keeps shining. I'm quiet around many, but that's just because I'm analyzing the situation, those around me. But in reality, I'm very loud, funny, entertaining, analytic, etc. Very protective of those I call family and friends. You are, David. I've never seen you as quiet. Oh, I'm glad. Listen, well, look at God. Well, I've only known the loud, funny, laughing David. Won't he do it? Drea says, you're never gonna just be Knight again. but that is still a part of you. Lewis was a new identity. Right. And I said that earlier, but it didn't cover up Night.
But apparently you felt like it did until you came into embracing.
How can I say it without so because I don't want anyone to think of it in a negative manner.
Mhm.
It's just something that happens where we kind of go, oh, that is who I used to be, ain't it?
Mhm.
Even if it was something negative, like if you was a bully before, and that's what people know you as, and that's what they call you.
I'm not a bully.
And you're not a bully now. But that's what they're going to keep calling you. Or, you know,
Yeah.
that one identity that just,
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, okay. Oh, okay then. Carlos says,
That's good.
I think the issue is people pretending to be someone or something they aren't. Because I believe self-evaluation is a must in order to grow or evolve into a better you.
Mhm.
Good job. Quinn says, that is me. Don't call me by my government name. Everybody knows me as Quinn.
So see, you do.
So there are parts of
Yeah.
you that you just, that's what you want. That's what you want people to call you by. That you don't, listen, leave that over there. Keep that right there.
Mm-hmm.
I will get mad if you call me by my government name. Drea says that was a good point, and I will say this about that. Drea will always be home to me. Oh, she'll always be home to me. You can always be Drea. I can't not call you Drea because Drea, this is Drea. So I bet you answer this because you can always be just Drea.
Well, Lord.
That's my Drea. Okay. And now it's almost sacred. I don't even allow everybody to call me Drea, and I don't introduce myself as Drea anymore because the people who call me that have become so special to me. Oh, I can't take it. I cannot take this right now. That I don't even want to pollute that part of me with everything else that people call me. Marsha B fights. Marsha E is loving.
He's stupid.
So
that's old me.
Marsha B.
Yeah.
Don't you be getting in no fights. We too old for that, man. If I take a hit, if I fall, I might not be able to get.
I don't fight anymore.
I'm not a fighter.
I call the cops.
Oh, I'm just gonna sue you.
I was gonna say I call.
I'm gonna have your dumb tail arrested because I ain't got time for that.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have people who go through real identity crisis where they don't know where they fit in.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is ever good enough, right enough. It just doesn't.
Exactly, Drake.
That's Andy, ma'am.
I only know her as Drea. You never introduced me to Andy. So she had to let this one. She ought to believe this. I might be your plus one. I don't know Andy.
You're stupid. So, talking about Toya Petty.
She is real petty.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
She's so petty.
So what type of things have you encountered with identity that has caused you, I don't want to say stress, or made you just sit and be in deep thought?
Like I was saying, for me, I felt like I got married when I was 20, had a baby at 21, and there was a part of me who felt like I have always been somebody's wife.
Something.
I have always been somebody's mama. And then right when I have a little freedom. I said, you know what?
Little taste.
I want to be somebody's mama again. And I can't even lie. Like I like, oh, I wanted Gianna and I love Gianna. That's my baby. But there was maybe a year or two when she was like 2 years old, a part of me was like, excuse my French, but damn, you was almost at the finish line and you started all over again.
How close to the finish line were you?
Yeah, baby, I was like at the end and I tripped and fell and tumbled. But it was a good trip. But my thing is, I was telling Big Daddy, I said, do you realize that we'll be 60 years old before, it's just me and you? And when I said that, that was like,
Did you cry?
it was
the thought of it.
It was emotional, yes.
I could only imagine.
My whole life, I have been somebody's mama, somebody's wife, but I had to, you have to get yourself together. And kind of like Drea said, you have to say, okay, you have to say, okay, that's another part of me. And I just go with that part.
Carla says, Drea, Rebecca might have an identity issue because she's our niece in South Carolina, but our daughter in Texas. Had to get her checked. But yeah, that's what you said. That's a big thing to, and having people that's your age,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody's kids are gone.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think about that too. Like
Mm-hmm.
when we decide that we're gonna do something, we got to think the Dudleys. They got to make sure that they got to.
Oh, I can move around. Don't play.
No, don't do that.
It be slow, but I can move around.
What? Wait a minute. This fool said, remember that time Joe Burkhead choked the hell out of me? And I didn't tell you because I felt like, wait a minute. Think about who I was because someone abused me.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Lost myself for a minute. Lost consciousness too.
Oh, Lord.
I cannot.
Okay, now I read it.
I'm not fit to play with her. We're not gonna do that. But even in situations like that, though, Drea, women, that's the easiest way for a woman to lose her identity.
Yeah.
Because if you stay, you're definitely going to lose your identity.
Yeah.
But when you say, oh no, this is not what it's about to be, and you leave, you gain a whole new attribute. Because the strength of that woman is now different.
Yeah, I thought she was playing it first. Then I read the rest of it. Now she was so serious.
Greg, we didn't ask you to co-sign nothing. Talking about we heard about that in our unit. We was gonna. We know you didn't like him, Greg. I cannot have this conversation with you guys right now. We can not do this. But yes, that is a part of it, Drea. That's definitely a part of when traumatic events will make someone lose their identity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that's with any type of abuse, sexual abuse,
yes,
all that.
But I was talking about earlier about how men have those midlife crises when they have lost their identity. We may not say it that, but I think it's because they lost their identity. They forgot who they was, and so they trying to reinvent themselves, and they go and do some dumb stuff. But I was sitting up here thinking, I remember when I got my first divorce, and I had got Janaya. She was just a little bit older. And I was like, forget it, man. I'm finna just wild out. And I'm talking about I was partying, I was drinking, I was like doing all the things that I didn't get to do, like I kept saying I should have been more wild in college. I should have
just turned up. That's what you was supposed to turn up. Go on, party, shake it. Hey.
And I found myself I had a midlife crisis in my 20s So I'm good now.
That's not what that was.
I did. I had a whole midlife crisis. And then I shook it off and became somebody's wife again and kept on going.
So what gave you the strength to get back out there to do it again? Because did you feel that you lost yourself in that first marriage?
Only because so my first husband played basketball and was like, it's easier to lose yourself in that world. You don't matter in that world. But I'll say that I was
in that world being
so
professional athlete.
Yeah, so he was a professional athlete or whatever, and like I told y'all, they groom you, they do all type of stuff. Your identity does not matter when they're going to be professional athletes. At least the woman, her identity doesn't matter. I told you, they sat me down and said, to live like no other, you have to live like no other. He's going to cheat, but that's just part of it. You just be a good girl. You be cute. You be fine, and you make him happy. That's your only objective. And yeah, that didn't work out for me.
That whole conversation wouldn't work out for me. He gonna do what?
Yeah.
Oh,
or they didn't say cheat. He's going to have a lot of friends. So.
I never forgot who I was or where I came from. But some people that I grew up with are actually stuck in their teenage mind. I've evolved into a better version of myself. So Carlos shared with me today this clip from Kevin Hart's Heart of Hearts conversation with Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about how it's hard, trying to go back home with his family, who's supposed to be a safe place. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be safe for you to be around your family. Mm-hmm. But once you hit a certain status, those people, Jesus, I just saw that and that's supposed to be a safe place. But when you hit a certain status and you go back home, it's no longer a safe space because the people that's back home are still back home and they still have a back home mentality. Mm-hmm. So whatever they've ever done or whatever they've ever thought of about how things are supposed to work out into it, real world, going back home wasn't a release for him because we sat down, people wanted to pitch business ideas to him, but they would never pitch an idea that really meant any, like you have an idea, but you don't know how to execute. Right. There's no business plan.
You want me to execute your thing,
but you want me to back you financially. Yeah. And it's just one of those type of things where I kind of feel like it doesn't matter if you are a billionaire, a millionaire, a thousandaire, a hundredaire. If you leave and people have the perception that you're living better than them, they're going to automatically think that you have something to give them.
Yeah.
Versus just some information.
And for them,
financially.
And for them, you've lost your identity. Oh,
yeah,
you don't, to them, you've lost your identity. You
act like
forgot
you
where you
came
from.
We didn't grow up the same place.
Yeah. I think that's how those rappers get killed. Because
they're still trying to be true to who they were when they was there.
They want to keep trying to make people think that, hey, I didn't lose my identity. I got this status, I got this money, but I'm still me. I didn't lose myself. They trying to prove that they still down, and in reality,
and it's not even that serious to still be down.
I'm gonna tell you, when I get my Oprah status, I ain't come back. I ain't going with none of y'all.
So you're not gonna come over here? My house ain't good enough for you once you make
Oprah
status.
You got a pool.
Sorry,
I ain't never leaving you.
Okay, let me read what Greg said. He said a whole bunch. Nobody understands being in the military except military people. Well, we can't up and leave when we want to, and people always want you to come to them. No one comes to see us. When we deploy, people forget about us until they need something. No one knows the type of BS we go through, but if they always see us turning up, so life is good. They don't understand the trauma and mental issues that we go through. All they know is, at least you got benefits. Boy, you just said a whole mouthful there. One thing I had to learn, and I had to learn it the hard way, is that first part where he was talking about no one wants to come see us. I can go home where I'm from and tell people that I'm home. And the first thing they're going to say is, well, when you going to come see me?
Yeah.
Do you know how hurtful that is?
Yeah.
That's so hurtful. You mean to tell me I done traveled all these thousands of miles to be here, and you can't travel 10 minutes up the street to see me?
Yeah.
It's not meant for us to see each other.
At all. At all.
Once Carlos embedded that in my head, it was, I don't talk to nobody. Felicia was the only person I still talk to that I grew up with.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, because you was acting funny.
Yeah, I'm acting funny because I done traveled all this way and you can't come see me 10 minutes up the road.
Yeah, you 10 minutes up the road. She was 10 minutes.
She could have came. She could have stopped by here.
Yeah,
but you knew where I was the whole time. That rings so true. And another, like everything he said, I promise you, I felt all of this, Greg. All of it. I felt all of it. The whole deploying thing. At least you got benefits. Listen, baby. I feel like my PTSD gonna kick in. I'll probably leave it alone. And I feel like Greg tried to trigger me. I feel like he did that intentionally. But it's cool though, Greg. I mean, because I understand everything you put right here. And other military people do too. They love it. Carlos says, bro, now you said some real ish right here. Nothing but facts. It's 420. Do y'all have different identity today? No different identity. Just able to do some things that we couldn't do a few years ago when we were military without getting in trouble. I can't believe you asked that question. It's better be, oh my goodness. I can't. Y'all. I'm gonna have to read these before I read these. Greg, it's impossible to maintain your identity, but we all get that. We love each for that reason. 17-hour drive, plane tickets, car rides. Don't get me started. Right. Even when you have to, if I flew to get home, if I drove to get home, it doesn't matter how I got there. I'm gonna need you to come see me.
Yeah.
I need that to happen. But your family can be your biggest downfall.
Or not downfall, but they have sometimes they have
pain.
No, they have unrealistic expectations of you because I know you. So I expect this from you.
You knew that part of me.
Yeah. So because this is all talking about identity. Because the person who I was then, I can't be that same person as a wife. I can't be that same person as a mother because these are the other hats that I have on. So once I've taken up this identity, it is, I don't want to say Lord, I feel say burden. Lord Jesus. That's not the word I want to use. No, just an extension of who you are. Your new extension.
Right. And so I don't tap into the person that you used to know as much. I would love to. I want to. But even when I tap back into her, she's changed some. She's mature. She's not the same person either.
So now I play devil's advocate because you were saying earlier that you miss Etoya Knight.
I miss being called that.
Okay, well, they know Etoya Knight, and that's all that they want. They're not worried about the Etoya Lewis or Etoya the mother or Etoya the soldier or Etoya. They want my cousin. What do they call you?
Toya. Toe.
I want my cousin Toe. I want a little toe back. So
Peanut.
yeah. So that's what they're looking for. So I think like I say, everybody goes through some type of identity crisis or not crisis, but identity issue. I think it's about respect. I respect your
That's my daddy's side of the family. Me is that.
Toy. Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Drea says, we have a completely different bond because of what we experienced. True.
Mm-hmm.
We are different and we obtain a different identity, but somehow we're all the same is very strange.
Mm-hmm.
The love that we have in the military is unmatched. When I had to put my husband in the ground, it was Toya that drove 17 hours through COVID-19, running rampant in the country to be with me, while my own family said they had too much going on. That changed me. And I think that it's experiences just like that changes us.
I agree.
You're not going to have me in here crying. I'm already emotional. Marsha
Yeah.
started this off with the tears. And this is not what we're going to do today.
It is.
Because, like Monica says, I will cross the ocean for you. No, I mean, some bonds, you're absolutely right. Some bonds, they're unbreakable. And you're gonna go that whole extra mile for people that you've connected with. It's just,
yeah.
But that's that friend identity
Mm-hmm.
that
I think that if you're not losing your identity, you're not growing.
yeah, I believe
yeah.
that too.
I think that if there's
but that was one of the things I said, like, I'm gonna grow,
mm-hmm.
but there's still a part of me that, man,
Mm-hmm.
what I gotta be. It's I feel like it's like I feel like maybe if I was just called Toya, it would probably be different.
Mm-hmm.
Versus, I keep saying it, babe, don't be mad. Lou wife. Let me shut up. Greg says, I lost myself trying to please everyone. Now I'm losing everyone trying to find myself. Boy, I almost did a whole shout up in here.
So what?
Come on, Greg. All right now, sir. Did y'all read that? What Greg said? I just read it, but did y'all hear me? He said he lost himself trying to please everyone.
Yeah.
Now he's losing everyone trying to find himself.
That part.
And
That
that's
part.
what I'm
That
talking
part.
about.
That
When you're
part.
giving so much of yourself to everybody else, it's
Yes.
kind of like,
A piece of
okay,
you that's
I like doing this because this is what y'all like.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're not trying to please everyone, because I don't have any kids here, I don't.
Yeah. And it's just and you're tapping into, what does Toya like? What do I see myself? Who am I this next chapter of my life?
Right.
This. So I get it, but a lot of us, we are people pleasers, and we lose. A lot of times, to be honest with you, we lose ourselves in our kids and in our husbands.
Yes.
And-
Or jobs.
But it's mostly men who lose themselves in their jobs. Women, this new age woman, we do lose ourselves in our job, because I'm guilty of that a lot of times. But for men, they're going to lose their identity in their jobs. Some of them may lose their identity in being a husband and a father, especially those that are really involved. But for women, we lose our kids. Our number one is our kids. We lose ourselves in our kids.
We definitely do.
Yeah.
Because everything is about them.
Yeah.
It's
everything about our
ensuring
kids.
that we're raising decent people.
Yeah. I sit here and I think about, you know, you want to make sure that your kids have everything that you didn't have.
Mhm.
So you go above and beyond, you breaking your neck to make sure that their future does not look like your past.
Mhm.
So I think that we lose ourselves a lot of times in them trying to run from our past, and not just run from it,
No, I would say that for me.
run from it.
Mhm.
That's deep.
And not wanting them to be tainted by it.
That's real deep. That's real deep.
So Drea going through all my little nicknames, Tori, Toe, Toy. Carlos says sometimes we have to lose ourselves in order to find ourselves again. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. We definitely sometimes have to lose ourselves to find ourselves.
Don't be putting me and my mother-in-law business in the street, Carlos. I'm sorry about the friend identity. See, this is exactly what I was talking about when we were on the phone earlier today. It's that feeling that I have that my friends always feel this obligation to be my friends. Friendship can be a burden. Nope.
No.
It's never a burden.
Not
Because just like with our children, and we'll do anything for them, no matter how much we want to punch them in their throat. We feel like that for those friends that we go hard for, because there's nothing that
the ones we go hard for.
I was
Yeah.
gonna put that out there, because I don't go hard for every friend. Every friend don't get me getting on the road and the countless hours of driving, the countless money spent to get a flight, the countless planning to do trips, the countless this, everybody doesn't get that. So if you're getting that from me, I'm trying to give you as much of me as I possibly can. You best believe that, because you're worth it. If you're not worth it, you ain't getting that.
Yeah, I agree.
If I don't never like, and there's nothing against you. It's just our bond, like she was saying before. There are certain things that we've gone through together that put us to this point.
Yeah.
Everybody don't get that. Talking about a burden. I'm gonna beat you the next time I see you. I'm always trying to evaluate whether or not I am as good of a friend to y'all as y'all are to me. I have seen Greg worried about me when I know that he's going through stuff. Same thing with Toya and Carlos. And sometimes I don't share things with y'all because I understand the burden of our friendship. If I am going through, I can also be taking y'all through with me. Well, we don't ride till the wheels fall off.
I know that's right.
Greg says, when you really start being yourself, you see who your real friends are. All the others can just go kick rock. And another thing about having that friend identity, a friend is going to tell you some things that you may not really want it to see or hear about yourself. A real friend is going to do that. They're not going to just allow you to just be wrong out here in these streets.
But Greg, okay, so Greg, you said, go back. Where did he say that at? Read what he said again.
Just now?
Yeah.
When you really start being yourself, you see who your real friends are. All the others can just go kick rocks.
So, Greg, that almost feels like for however long you've been friends with that person, you were sending your representative. It goes back to what Carlos said earlier. A lot of times we send our representative, and even we talked about, was that last week? We send our representative because we don't.
When we were talking about dating.
Yeah.
And sometimes in friendships.
But in friendships, you send your representative because maybe the person that you truly are, or the person you identify with, somebody has told you that that's not good enough, so you become this person to give them, so hoping that they'll love you, they'll love this person.
Oh, that was not Greg. I'm sorry. That was
Who was that?
that was David.
What did he say?
That was David that says, when you really start being yourself, you see who your real friends are. All the others can just go kick rocks. But Greg came right up under him. And so when I read it, I read Greg's name versus David.
So David, same thing. Then are you like giving this person or giving this friend or whoever the version that you think they want?
Then Greg says, girls, stop talking to Drea about evaluating whether she's as good of a friend. We are your damn friends regardless. Your issues and problems are ours also, and vice versa. That's how family roll.
Okay.
She told David, now he preaching.
Yeah.
Carla says, Greg, some people have so many holes in them that no matter how much you pour into them, it's useless. What kind of holes, babe? Toxic people. Them toxic holes. Facts. I sure was. I had to mature to really see who I am.
I like that. And I like the transparency, because like I say,
He said life lessons you live and you learn.
Yeah. But I think that a lot of times, especially those of us who have had any type of trauma, I present to you this person. Hopefully you'll love this person. And because that
but
other
eventually
person,
that representative backs down though, right?
But in his what he said was that he had to mature and to realize, you know what? This is who I am. Let me introduce you to this person.
Or maybe he found himself.
Or maybe he reinvented himself.
Himself.
Yeah. And he's like, okay, no, I'm going to embrace.
No, this is who I like. I like this person better.
Yeah. And this is who I truly identify with.
Andrea says, sometimes though, Marsha, you need to send your representative. Everybody does not deserve you. You are special and everybody should not have access to you. Baby, let me put this headphone down. That part right there. You can't give everybody full access.
You know what? You sure right about that. Ooh.
I like that.
How they do it.
I like that, baby. I like that,
right.
Drea. You hit that one right there.
You're right.
Girl.
You're right.
I'm talking about amen.
Yeah,
and amen. That was good. That was really good.
That's right, because sometimes you give your true authentic self and they don't appreciate it, and then you realize, you know what, I should have gave them something else.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm with you. But when you try to keep it real, when keeping it real goes wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you try to keep it real, that's sometimes how, like the wake up call that you need when you done gave somebody your all, and then they give you their ass to kiss, and then you're like, oh, nobody else will get the opportunity to do that because I'm gonna keep this kind of.
And I can identify with that because
facade.
I usually for me, I usually try to give you 100%. When I say I rock for you, I rock for you. I roll for you. But I found out that there were people that I gave my true authentic self to when I needed them. They were not there for me. So it was like, I'm giving you all my best version of me. And you said that this is who you were too. But then when I looked for that person wasn't there. So
she's special, all right. Special ed. See, Joker? He's a little jokester over here. The little jokester always got jokes, boy.
But he don't want us to think.
He don't want us to think that. That's not his identity.
That's not his identity.
Don't identify him as the jokester.
Oh, okay. You better give me them food stamps.
Look, obviously, you and Drea.
I want him to be known as my pusher.
Carlos
My
says
food
life
stamp
has a
pusher.
tendency to batter you at times, and some people never patch those holes up, or they put a band-aid on it that comes off easily. If you
Mhm.
continue to pour out all of yourself into people like that, Jesus, you're going to end up empty. Death says some only rock with you when you're beneficial to them.
That
Users.
part. That part.
Users
That
is what we
part.
call them.
Yeah, that part.
I'm gonna need you not to just be here for a season. Your receiving season. Because if you didn't give anything, all you did was receive. You used me, baby. Okay. Andy says, I think that's where we get hurt and our hearts get broken. Not because we're being ourselves, but because we are throwing our pearls to swine.
We're throwing-
Sometimes being who you are should be protecting the parts of you that are sacred to only be exposed in safe places with people who love you.
Yeah.
Carlos, oh, pastor, that will preach right there. I cannot.
You hear yourself?
I cannot with him. I cannot.
You can't hear it.
I told him to turn that down. He don't care. But we're at an hour.
Yes, thank you.
You was gonna say something? You was gonna say something, ma'am? Okay. Anyway, you guys have been awesome.
Always.
You guys I love all the input and everybody who talks about the different phases of identity. That's what I'm gonna call it, the different phases of identity. It was very enlightening.
What's your takeaway?
My takeaway is I should be a bit more appreciative of the different hats that I wear and understand that not all men are created equal. Everybody can't hold this crown the way I hold this crown.
That make it just even funny.
Wait a minute. I'm just being silly. Don't pay me no mind. But no, seriously, my takeaway would be embrace all of my identities. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just happy that I'm at a place in my life where I can kind of be back a little bit more with Etoya at night, because I know this is probably gonna sound bad, but the distraction of trying to be so many different places at one time, because when you have a family, whether we love them or not, it can be a distraction for you doing the things that you like to do in life. So that identity part, I don't have to worry about, and I can be my true, authentic, divalicious self. Your takeaway.
My takeaway, I'm gonna take exactly what Drea just said, is that I gotta make sure that I love being my authentic self and being real, but not everybody deserves that piece of me. So that is that hit home for me, because
that was beautiful.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie, because that's probably my biggest. I don't want to say
give too many people access to
yeah. And it drains me sometimes.
Carlos told you pouring in other people's cup.
Yeah,
they got holes in their cup. You ain't gonna never fill their cup up.
Yes.
I mean, that was listen, they done preached the whole word here today. Yeah. Hallelujah.
Yes.
Come on through.
Carlos's part, yeah, definitely.
Carlos says, be you today and even better you tomorrow. Greg says, I mask my sadness with jokes. Well, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that, sir.
Come on down here so we can
do you want
a hug.
Do you want to move to Texas? Because you can move to Texas and find friends. Oh, Marsha said, no, you can't unless you bring in that food stamp card. You can't bring the food stamps with you. Don't come your ass to Texas. Drea says, one of the funny things that I did. Oh my God. Notice about your identity is that Rebecca thought that you have been a housewife your whole
Oh, you. I know that's right.
your whole life. And I realized that she has never seen you have a job or go to work.
I look. It's a,
My baby, she don't need to see those type of things. Those, but I'm pretty sure she'd have heard all them stories about. Never mind. We're not going to go there. But anywho, guys, that was an amazing conversation. We will not be coming to you next week unless Marsha can find okay. She don't want to do it with nobody else but me.
that's it. This is our thing.
I'm the only motivation she wants to have.
How
with
we
her.
gonna do the intro with me and it's me and you and I have somebody else?
No.
we ain't doing no guest.
You can say,
stand-in. We ain't
well,
doing it.
today we
We
have.
ain't doing no guest stand-in.
Okay,
I
well,
won't do it.
I will not be here next week.
Hold on. But before we go, I want to know why Sharita jump on at 8:00, knowing we about to get off, just so her name can pop up to say I was there. Look, Drea just sat here and talked about us, about friendships, and us,
Where y'all gonna be?
Look,
Tahiti? No, my friend's memorial service is next Thursday, and I will be in Copper's Cove.
yes. So we're gonna be sending love and prayers to Toya and Tara's family. Tyra.
It's okay.
My bad.
It's all right.
I'm not in the inner circle, so that just reflected that.
She said, "Don't do that, Jackie."
I
Sharita, she tried to pull you. She tried to bring you out. Okay. Don't forget to get your butts up and do some doggone PT.
I need to do
Health
some
is
PT.
well.
Yes,
Let's get
Lord.
it. Amen. Amen.
All right.
Okay. Tune in week after next for another episode of Let's Talk About It. See you guys in 2 weeks.
Peace.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.
End broadcast.